important, right? If you're able to clear that 44, let's say 70 or 72, whatever your preference is, I would most likely wait personally for 72. You could probably catch this here fairly quickly to the previous week value area low. But the range is tight right now. And if you want to see a bullish, not bullish, but more sentiment that the buyers are stepping in, we need to reclaim 61. And then you see the levels above, right? We have the PD value area high. Somewhere in between, we have the POC. I will find that guy. And then
You got the PD value area low before the PD value area, the previous week value area low at 477.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah. The previous week is at 40.78 for me, I believe. This one is 44.78, previous week value area low.
Yeah, well, I got it 77 and 3/4.
Yep, that's close enough.
Yep.
So you have this correct, right? So this gets a little tight on the upside, right? And if you see here, when you have a P shape, do you guys recall from the PowerPoint what it means when you have a P shape in a downtrend?
Yeah, reversal to go up.
Well, it would have been a reversal if what happened today?
Close above the POC on short cover rally.
Oh, they had to hold this, guys. Remember, they have to hold this on the P shapes. Today they really should have held this, and you see what they did in the open hours, right? At 6 p.m. What did they do? This was the previous day high, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And look what they did immediately. So if you think about this, right, they came in and they tried, trigger to go buy. But the only way, I mean, and this is our previous week value area high here. You were not looking for long. They're trying to trap the traders here. They're trying to trap the longs all the way. They came here, they sold off. You see it, a big shelf created at the end that didn't make a higher high. If you created a big shelf at the end like this and you're not making highs, well, something's off, I would say.
Yep.
And then you crack through this, right? And I don't know if anyone caught this. I don't know if, I know Burnside's on vacation, but dude, this one overnight was a beauty. I mean, they dumped it pretty hard. And now you're looking at this here and you're like, okay, well, what's going on? And look here, they're trying to defend what?
Defend the gap.
If this is our previous day low, right? And this was our previous day high, kind of like an opposite pattern happened, I would say, in 2 days. There's a potential that they do the opposite. Right here, we cracked below and we got inside. I think they might do everything in their power to hold this, unless they want to continue. This was a I would say this is a shortened P shape here, with a really large distribution on the bottom, and then you're following with the really extended lowercase b shape here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say anytime you're losing this here, let's say 51, you have a chance to hit 47. Breaking 47 triggers, I would say, a little bit more of a downfall here. I would ultimately target 44.19. There is a VPOC after I checked.
44.38.
Yeah, there's one at 38. I think that's the one.
And another one at
this is July 10th, right? Yeah, July 10th.
Yep.
So this one here is important. I think they can target that. And then if you take this, right, you had 1, 2, 3. I would say you had almost like a 3-day balance. And I'll just want to extend it so you guys see it. This level becomes, it's your almost like a 3x POC, right?
Yeah.
Citation.
Oh God, is this fucking okay? God, we're moving the watch list to 10 o'clock.
I'm serious awake.
Fucking yeah, I moved it to 9, and now he's here. I'm just kidding.
You got the June puck at 44.17 also.
Well, hold on. Let me finish this thought process. So here you also had the, we had the VPOC here. It's no longer a VPOC. So this is a pretty powerful level now. If they don't bounce here, just think about this. We had, as many would call it, I'll cite dumpster here, a bull flag, right? You had a up, then you have a fall, and then they created really this run here from here, right? It seems like this run created from this 3-day consolidation here. I mean, of course, they had a trap here on the short side, but then they pumped it from here. So this level here is fairly important at 37. And it's just a weird number when you think about levels where it can bounce, right? 44.37 is the level where it's going to bounce. Like, okay. So I think there has potential to bounce here at this level, right? That's the next level. And I think they could, trigger some people there if they bounce it below, before. But ultimately, for me, if they're going to get this far, anyone have a level below by any chance?
I have a few.
20.
44.20 is fairly big. 44.19 is I would say a fairly large POC that we need to be aware of. So I think there's a June POC there.
Yeah, 44.17.
So let's see. So there's that POC, 44.17 1/4.
Yep.
And I would say this is a pretty big zone here, guys. So if you think about it, it came back here. And the only thing that I noticed, something that failed that should have worked, right? If you think about structures, right? A lot of people trade, and I'm not against it, right? And I also traded, but sometimes you can't trust the support resistance alone, right? So let's think about this. So here, if you guys look, this is a textbook resistance, and support, correct?
Yes.
What I do. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. Resistance, support, we got a bounce, but this bounce did what? It failed to do what?
Higher
Make
high.
that higher high.
Make a higher high.
Failed to make a higher high. Therefore, this level immediately showed a lot of weakness. And you see how many times did they trap people here? Right? And they trap, let's just zoom in, right? So this is the level you're watching. Look at this level at 82. You remember when I was trading live and I said there's a buyer at 84 a few times when I said there was a 9-to-1 imbalance?
Yeah, I remember
Right?
that.
He was pretty much here defending this whole area, seems like by himself. And then eventually, right, once that broke, it triggered the sell-off. But my point here is you cannot trade this alone, right? Because here, maybe you caught the bounce and, some traders that expect more from the market, maybe, they didn't like the bounce 93 and it went to 45, 41. Maybe, I've seen people getting bullish from this SR flip. And then, the story on the tweets changes. Well, maybe it's not an SR, maybe it's something else, right? It is an SR, but you have to wait differently for confirmation, right? Whether it's, higher highs or the structures to get really long. Because here, when you think about the structures, wouldn't this then be the bearish SR flip? Right?
100%.
Support. This is an entry of a short entry here. And
I
since
remember that
then,
one.
you only had one, I would say, fake higher high because it really closed only with the wick. It didn't really close above, I would say. And then you look at this giant candle that came in and sold off, and look at this perfect bounce back to value area high and dump. And now bet something here that became probably very close to 50% on this here. Let's see where we hit. So we hit 4507, which is a little bit lower than what I would think, and they dumped from there. I mean, the previous week value area high. So the SR flips, of course, you use them, but you can see, once this level is lost, I think it can lead a lot lower. Because if you think about the structures now, if you just take everything away, where's the next low? Would this be the next low? If this was the high of the range, this is the low of the range. Because here they were rejected and then they got in, right?
Yeah.
So now we have the levels, right? You lose this 44.37. I would put a lot of probability that we are going to touch this 44 area. I won't call it single level, but I would say that we're most likely going to come back to this zone right here. This zone will be tapped. Okay, so losing this triggers this really, really high probability. If we come here and we lose this and we regain this level, This is going to be a potentially a decent bounce, and this could go. I would say could execute all the way to like 44, 87. This is a big level, guys. 87 is huge. For the longer term, I would say this is my switch on being bullish versus bearish. It's kind of like 87 to maybe 93-ish, but that would be the level that I'm watching. You know,
Okay.
if you want to get out of that range, I'll you know, short term, I'll be bullish. But as
That
of
would
right
be
now,
a change of sentiment.
that's correct. I would change my sentiment there, that level, if you can kind of regain it and control that higher. Okay. So these are the levels on a bigger picture, right? There's a little bit of a node here. I would not ignore this. I think ultimately, if they, they fail 44.20, they'll probably test this range. I would expect a stronger bounce here because this would be your June value area low, right? And
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to let go of this fairly easy. At least, they didn't seem to let go of the July value area low easy. So I doubt that they're going to do this. But
Yeah.
notice, right? We're going, the value areas were getting a little tight here. And now they're obviously lower high on a monthly. POC almost out of the value area of the previous month, right? So now you're like, okay, well, if you're failing to reclaim this 45, I'm sorry, here, 44.98, if you fail to reclaim this, what is the market telling you?
There's no value up top. They want lower.
Yeah, most likely you're definitely headed to the POC. You break that, I mean, you can put your money on the 43.50.
Shorty, do you think that they might be right at let's see, maybe going there to 43.70?
On the upside,
No,
this one here,
yeah, which is the end of the where it bounces from.
yeah, this is just structure low. I'm just looking at the structure, right? This is pre-gap here.
Okay,
So I would call this,
that would be a level to have there.
I would definitely have this because I would say the retail 9 out of 10 times will come back here and buy this.
Yeah, 43. Okay.
And then this level here, I mean, this is a zone that I'll probably not ignore it, right? I would find the POC of this little area, something like this. I would mark this 42.87 in here. And I would just mark this probably 3 days if I was to guess. See.
Oh yeah, where the
It's
gap.
1,
Yeah,
2, 3, 4, 5 days.
42.95. There's a little pock right there.
So yeah,
POC.
there's a VPOC there at 97-ish for me, 96.75. But I would definitely mark
Yep.
this area as a warning, right? That there might be some bounces here. I know it's a pretty wide area. Yeah, this is a huge area, right? It's almost like a consolidation in itself. But I would just have it to have a warning. Hey, there's something here. We can expect buyers to show up, right? And then I think there's one more VPOC on the downside here.
Should be at 54.
Yeah, it's
Out this
at
one.
there's one at 26.
And this area here is very congested.
26 and a quarter.
Yeah, dumpster. I have to fucking remark because there's people that still don't get it. I can't imagine dumpster as a teacher. Holy fuck.
I mean, June 8th, average 42.96.
Yeah, this level is huge here, guys. This is a decent level here.
I mean,
I'm not
we
gonna
have,
delete this because I'm gonna spend just fucking 30 minutes marking the dumpster. 3, 4, 5.
yeah, May 23rd,
Which one are May 23rd?
my birthday. It's a VPOC. So you already have it on there. It's the 23.50, 75,
Okay.
whatever. It's right there.
Okay. And then this is also a May VPOC here, so yeah.
I don't have anything below that.
Yeah, this is the month that started the crap. Because we are in a fucking range here.
You have May 23rd also.
May 23rd, he just mentioned that one.
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Well, this one here, that's, say that's not a VPOC.
No.
No, which one?
May
No, not
23rd,
not.
not
This
a
is
VPOC.
June 1st as well.
Say it again.
June 1st, 4227.
Yeah, 4227.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one is, yeah, definitely. This one is, I mean, it never came clear.
Yeah.
And now at least you have, I would say, the levels where potential bounces can happen, right? You don't have to keep all these on unless you care for it. But, you know, when you look at this, it's like, oh man, it's a lot of levels. But when you look at it, honestly, you should, you know, clear up when you go on smaller time frames, right? So if you zoom in now, here, 5 minutes, I mean, this is a lot of space, guys. I don't
Yeah.
know what you guys expect from the market, but if the market gives you, even if you catch 10 points of this, that's okay. You should be done for the day, right? And a lot of you guys constantly want to be in a trade and just executing trades for some reason. I'm not sure what the reason is, but maybe you guys should consider stopping that and limiting yourself to like 1 or 2 trades per day. Okay. Any questions on ES, right? So I want to see a, you know, a bullish side. We want to reclaim this 44.61. Obviously, we're holding this 47 here, and I'll just kind of hide this for a second. Give you a, I'll hide volume for a moment. So if you think about this as a big, you know, from these March lows, I'll probably start here because this is going to shift the POC. Even this one here probably be good. But here I'll, for shits and giggles, we'll go from here to the top. And we know about this level. If you're not aware of this level, then yeah, I'm not sure what to tell you. This level here is really, really important. 41.40 is going to be a huge level for the market. If you're able to clear below that, just think. Ever since market took off from here, and I've mentioned this a few times, right? Did the market chase the price here or not? Did the value shift?
No.
Guys, the value never shifted. There's a high chance that we come back to 4,200, which would be on a larger scale. Wouldn't that be the most logical spot to see if we want to accept the value higher?
Yep.
I mean, if you remember the PowerPoint, right, there's the aspect of trading, right, on values is if this is your value area high and this is your low, the idea is that you know, the market's not going to go a straight line. It's doing higher highs, rejects, then it pops. And if it's accepted here, then it's saying we need new value.
New value. Yes.
If the market does this, right, and then they fail and we do this, we're, you know, we call this the 80% rule. There's a high chance that we're going to execute that. So now when you think about everything that we're, you know, covered, this happened already a few times. It happened on the weekly, right? On the PV area low, and it went all the way to PV value area high. And now it's probably executing the June value area, right? We just talked about that. So if you go
Yeah.
here, let's just make sure it's turned on. Same thing is happening here. So here's your July, right? They came back in here and they, you know, they pretty much came in and rejected this, guys. Don't expect them to do, if every one of these lines hit perfectly, and there was no misceptions where they trap people over and under levels, everybody would be a perfect trader, right? If the value area low, let's say for, oh, I'm sorry, high of this level here is at, what is this, 44.93, and the value area low of July is at 45.07, and if it doesn't reject there, right? Well, maybe it goes inside, but how does it look like when it's breaking back inside? Does it give you any indication that it wants to go lower? And can you trade that, right? So if you think about this, let me just show you July value area low. Here's July value area low. And if you see here, right, they had some lows here. I would say it looked like a perfect bull flag, right? Pop, fall down, and then you have a little zone, right? You have a little bit of support here that, you know, they're creating, and they break below this, and if on a larger scale of a monthlies, you're saying that this did not hit and it came a 0.50 away from it, I think you're not made for trading. You're made for some other sport that requires perfection, maybe a pastry chef or something. I don't know. You're not going to get these to come back exactly to the point. A lot changes between, for instance, this level and when July started and built that value, right? So don't expect these perfect. Yeah, does it happen a lot that we get really good hits and perfection? Yeah. But, you know, I didn't short it because it didn't come to my level, and I'm expecting a reversal on a monthly, not even like a daily, where if you miss it, then you screwed up because that session's most likely moved on because it happens quick in the lower range. But on a bigger picture here, you're rejecting this, and I mean, you fall back inside June. I would say this is a pretty good rejection here. So this is the same setup that I just drew above, right? Where you had value area high and lows. So like this, and this one right now, we're just executing this in June. We are here, and now we are targeting to hit the POC, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys can see the picture, right? So here is the next target based on the drawing that I just did here. Does that make
Yes,
sense?
it's on a larger scale.
Yep. Bigger scale, don't expect perfection within a point. Does it happen? Yes. You should give yourself a little bit of a cushion if you're entering, especially, you know, if you're, you should not swing futures, but if you're swinging puts on SPY, that's not a bad entry, guys, for a longer dated puts, right? I just want to make sure you guys get that because some of you guys, when I'm, you know, trading live, it's like, oh man, didn't hit that level perfectly. I didn't get in. Well, sometimes if I have a limit order and I see them, let's say, showing weakness before, I can move it down a little bit. I can move it 3/4 of a point, half a point, and I can add another order or two orders to bring that average, right? To, you know, if you're moving it, don't enter full size. Maybe it will get to your level, leave an order or two there. Then you can have a full position as you wished. But, you know, your average might be a quarter or half a point difference.
That's why a lot of times we draw, instead of a line, we draw
It's a zone, right?
zones. Yeah.
Okay, so now they're just consolidating. So for me, I would say you see this cluster here. I would say this is a big fucking cluster. If you draw this from the top, right, all the way down, look where the POC is.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there, the PD POC as well. So there's a lot of volume that popped here, right? And at 3 o'clock, they just sent it, right? They sent it lower, and we closed below the value area low, right? I mean, the POC, everything pretty much worked out in the favor of the bear. So now, if they fail this, it's a big deal. If they reclaim the PD POC, guys, tomorrow, your first close value area low, if they reclaim this could be a really, really good trap for shorts. Because you know, a lot of volume is here. That means either a lot of profit taking was, or what happened.
Short cover.
No,
Mm-mm.
a new seller stepped in.
Different time frame.
Different time frame. Seller stepped in, and he basically, remember, on big levels, value area highs, lows, whether it's intraday, you need initiative, right? And you either need initiative buyers or you need initiative sellers. Me and you and anyone in this room, maybe Dumpster with his 2 MES, can move that, right? But typically, you need big boys, other time frame people to come in and move these levels, right? Break through them. And that's exactly what happened here, right? You had an initiative seller, and let's just take a look at the volume on the bottom, and look here. The biggest candle here, third smallest from these big candles, I would say it's the fourth smallest volume. How do you feel about that?
Absorption.
But, I mean, it just doesn't add up, right? There's an anomaly there, and I think they'll have to take a look at it. Now, let me check 4 hour. Look at the 4 hours. I mean, it's good selling on a multi candles. You know, I don't expect this candle to be the biggest body and smallest volume, right? I wouldn't
Yeah.
expect that. Then you have look at this body here and look at the size, right? The effort and result seems a little off. And then on the daily,
It's even
Okay.
worse.
I mean, yeah. Something's not adding up here at the moment.
Mhm.
The biggest body that we've had by far, I would say, right? This one's much smaller than this one, at least to me. Of all of the sell-off candles that we had, this is the lowest volume.
That means it could be ready to be trapping shorts here.
Watch what's gonna happen tomorrow here. I guarantee you they execute this perfectly. They break the previous day low. They come to an odd level of 44.37
Mhm.
and they bounce here and most don't expect it.
Yeah.
And from here, I think they send this higher. There's already some buyers stepping in here. I mean, you don't, at 355, I know it's shit volume, time period, but I'm not seeing a lot of aggressive selling. Let's take a look at weekly. So tomorrow is, what day is tomorrow? Wednesday.
15 Wednesday.
I mean, we are,
16.
potentially correct on volume, but look at this. Huge body candle, pick up in volume, check off, right? Next candle, small body,
Yeah.
identical volume.
Yeah.
Right.
Something right.
So they got to pump this tomorrow. If they want to break this tomorrow, we got to watch the volume on 5-10 minutes, whatever your preference is, to see that they really pumped the volume on that break. If they don't, I wouldn't trust their I would say I wouldn't trust their fall here. I think they can bounce it back from here. And then here, if you look, I'm on weekly, right? Just I would have this trend line on because I would say many people are gonna play off of it. There's one here that you could play off of right here. I think it's more at least I would go something like this.
Close. Yeah.
But
So
I
you
would
could definitely
defer to our expert on trend lines, Mr. Dumpster.
So you could definitely catch uh, some shorts, but just be careful because they're gonna
Yeah,
bounce.
I mean, this like right now, I'll probably short this right now.
Yeah.
Like right here, right now, I would be entering short, give them
Yeah,
3
I took a
points.
short here.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer short. You risk 3 points and you're targeting probably, I would say, somewhere in the middle of this here. You're targeting about 49 or 50. Or you tighten up the risk maybe a little bit. I didn't think that was only 5 points here. But yeah, this is not a bad short. Okay. So any questions on ES? Does it help going through this a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look if Apple is ever going to break 175 in our lifetime. No.
Apple.
It does not want to
Yes.
give up 77.
I honestly think we're going to bounce, but let's see. This is a big shelf here, unless they have earnings. No.
Maybe ES bounce off 44.37 when Apple reaches that shelf.
Yeah, I think that would be perfect combo for higher. I'm not gonna go everything here, but I think if you followed along on what we did on ES, I think most of you should be able to find the levels on NQ. Maybe I should just do it. I'm afraid some of you guys will not do it. And this one has a lot more VPOGs than ES. Is that what you guys have as well? I feel like I have VPOGs everywhere. gonna bother me. The dates and epochs are not the same order, so I'll do this. Usually I put the date first. Man, there's a cluster here, I would say. It's a decent range here. And then there's another epoch. Man, there's a shitload of epochs.
Yeah. At 918.
Another one. Yeah, I mean, NQ's been running fucking aggressively here, so. So funny, July 10th, obviously, ES and NQ both ran, and that's a epoch for both. And let's see. No epochs, there's one here on the upside, too. Somebody's doing it right. They're not leaving much liquidity up top, surprised?
Mm.
How come there's liquidity on the bottom, but none on the top left? I would say there's a huge level here, guys. I mean, if you just, yeah, there has to be a huge shelf somewhere here. Ooh. Right there, yeah. Can't make this shit up. They're trying to hold this for dear life, huh? This just means 2 months for me. So if you think about it, right, if you want to see a bullish scenario in NQ, bigger picture, right? What do we have to do?
Gotta give me a second. You gotta break the July value area low. Actually, the previous week value area high.
Just look at this chart. What is this telling you guys? They gave you a clue of everything that I drew earlier. Just, you have to look. All right, let's talk through this again. This is a 2 months area, right? They went, they obviously built here. I'm drawing everything that this chart's showing you for now. Right, and then they went, and then they.
We're in June, so we have to. If we want higher, we got to get back up to July.
And you see what happened here. Think what happened here. Do you see this line? They dumped, and where did they come? They bounced. They tried to accept what? What did they try to do here? Why the defend here?
The top of the value area.
So this was the top of the value area high. This is their go level. They really needed to defend this to be accepted what? Value higher. They need this to be accepted here, okay? Well, earlier I drew, if it's not accepted here, what should it do?
It'll drop back
Go
down.
back in.
And this
80%
would be
rule.
the short. On bigger picture, right? Bigger picture.
Yeah.
Right, and what did they do here?
They did it.
They did exactly this, right? They came back, they went almost halfway inside the range, I would say, probably perfectly here. Yeah, they went very close to perfect 50% of that to offer a bounce, and they came back and then they rejected it. And now we are at the POC. If they fail to reclaim this tomorrow, what is a really, really high probability happens?
We go down.
That we go down, correct? We are already here, correct?
Yeah.
We're already here Sunday, and look what they did Sunday. What they did here Monday at 9:30. So this guy here found value, sent it higher. He did not make lower lows here. Agree?
Yep.
So this sell-off here got bought up. Somebody's finding value here on a 2 months value low. Following so far? There's a point.
Yes.
Okay. Well, now let's change this to 2 sigma here for a moment. So this is your level. You know, if you lose this level here, you know, there's a chance, you know, especially the 2-3 sig, you know, if it starts losing this area right here, which is 40, let's say 14, is it 8? 14.8. That's where the dump really will accelerate. I mean, it can go really, really fast. But at the moment, right, they're holding this 2 months value area low. And if you look here, they're kind of creating liquidity for themselves. Because if you look here, some would call it as, you know, like a bear flag right here, correct? So don't expect an immediate dump here. Ideally, if we want to see the value area low being tested here, for me, the best thing they could do is, let's say they go above here, right? Let's say they break the high here and reject the secret supply, and they then break it. Then it would mean a lot more to me, because this POC would probably shift where? If they're taking
Up.
profit at the top, it becomes a P shape, right?
Yeah.
And if they, you know, break the top, and then let's say in this case they reclaim the value area low, which they're above now, and they stay there overnight or whatnot, then it's a different story, right? It changes the behavior. On this one here, it's slightly different picture than on ES on the level that we need to reclaim. Because this is our PD value area low. Let me make sure, because on 30 minutes my shift ended a little bit. And look where we are on 30 minutes. Is that what you guys have?
1522. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. 15, 122.50.
So for us to turn a little bit bullish, you need to reclaim this level, right? You need to hold this and build the value. Ideally, at least create a high here for me. Go above this level, 28.30, reclaim it, and then you potentially target 74. And they would kill a lot of puts here, guys. Because that, I would say everyone I've seen is expecting bloodbath tomorrow. So what a better way to do it than, you know, if they dump this, right? Let's say, I mean, 15,000 will be pretty, I would say, obvious level for them to bounce it on. I think they dump it here, they reclaim this, and that's a go ahead for 74. And don't be surprised if we go to value area high here. Because right now, if you look at ES, what is ES doing compared to NQ? Be very careful how you answer.
It's dropping.
Lower lows.
Okay, anyone else?
ES just defended previous day low, whereas NQ made a higher low just
Anyone
now.
else?
Oh, ES is under the PD value area low, and NQ is above it.
Okay, anyone else? Let's take a look at ES for 3 days. Where's the value area high? Where's the value area low? 3 days, right? Here we shifted higher, shifted the POC higher, value area high went. Then the value area high went down, POC went down, and the value area low did what? Made a new low. It's no
Mhm.
longer trying to play here. We're trying to seek lower, right? So
Oh,
from the 3 days,
yeah.
let's take a look. So
Right,
for
the
3
range.
days, I'm just gonna hide this for a second. I'm gonna change this to gray 68. So for 3 days, the 44.63 becomes very important level on
Yes,
ES,
it's
right?
at a range.
Now and then Q, let's take a
Yeah.
look at the
They're still in
SVP.
range.
First day, same setup here. Higher value area high, higher POC, value area low. But did this value area low made a lower low?
Nope.
You guys see the difference?
Yeah.
What is it telling you?
Until it
NQ
makes
is stronger.
a lower low, it's not.
NQ is not, it is stronger in terms of the bounce, but the buyers are more aggressive to buy up NQ here.
Yeah.
They have found some value here and they're trying to shift it, right? So here it seems like you had poor lows, right? Here, I would say this is failed auction. And here, I would say you have maybe not a failed auction. We'll have to check the daily on footprints. Okay, some unfinished business here as well at 71-ish, this area here. Okay, that's what I wanted you guys to catch. The value areas are shifting, right? So now if you look at a 3-day on this, see where we are in terms of value. I'll just hide this. So the value area low is sitting at 1559. Okay, so
Yeah.
and we're sitting above a 3-day POC, and we're trying to reclaim 2-month POC and the previous day value area low. You think this is bullish or bearish? At this moment right now.
Not bullish.
How many thought the close was really bearish? They can go to 190 tomorrow, guys. Just FYI. If FMOC, I think they spike this somehow in this range. If they reclaim and hold this level, we're going higher. We're gonna go hit this level, I guarantee it. If they fail, let's say they are not able to hold this PD value area low, we lose it. Let's say we gain it and then we lose it. What would that mean in terms of
Bearish.
buyers and sellers?
More aggressive buyers.
Sellers.
It would be the
More
opposite,
I mean
right?
sellers, my bad. Sellers.
It would be the sellers are showing strength and they're not finding value and they're going to explore value lower. The value lower would be tested at 50.58, which is a 3-day value area low.
Yeah.
Losing this increases the chance of this a lot. Okay. We need to hold this overnight, make a higher high, give us some decent retest that we target 74, which is 50 points away.
The
Then,
value area we're in right
between
now.
192 and 174, you guys remember I have no trade zones? This is a no trade zone. I would not try to catch anything in between these levels.
Mhm.
This will be something I do not, I don't want to play. And then if you look, for this sell off here, just draw your POC and see where is it coming. So this one is here. And then if you draw the whole thing, you'll know, what is the level on the bigger picture where we might sell off from again. And it's coming up 57 with the value area. God. With the value area low being 1533, which we came perfectly to reject. Okay. Just a coincidence that they didn't like this number, right?
The value area that we're in today is inside the yesterday's value area.
Yep. So let's see this. I also told you something on the bigger time scale. Do you guys remember when we said we're potentially making head and shoulders? We might come down somewhere here and
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
create a shoulder. You guys recall that?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, if not, we need to try to start memorizing. So here's your left, here's your head. They might bring it down here at 44.38, which would be the right shoulder creation potentially, right? And if then they bounce it to, let's say, 44.50 or maybe even higher, like 40, is this 44.60? Yeah, 44.60, then it creates the right shoulder. People get excited, right? They see a pattern forming, and not that it's a wrong pattern, right? It's a valid pattern in an uptrend, right? So this is our, the trend line that we're watching, right or wrong, right? I'm not expert on drawing these channels, but if this is the bottom of this channel, then, I would expect that you can find, if I'm on this time frame, which is 3-day here, this would be the level that you're kind of looking here, 43.50 potentially, by September. And, we know there's a little volume node here, but ultimately, I think this is the level they're targeting. This has to hold. Like for them, this is, and this happens quick. If this fails, this happens overnight. Okay. All right. Any questions? All right. Well, I have a doctor's appointment for my elbow tomorrow morning at 8:30, so I'm gonna go see him, and then I'll be on as soon as I'm back. Hopefully, it doesn't take long. And I'll
Thank
feed
you,
in.
Shorty.
I think Drew, you're gonna be on.
Thanks a lot, Shorty.
Maybe he's
Yep.
not either.
Feel better.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye,
night.
everybody.